One thing we've been covering in the stream a lot is the Kohberger case. So recently we read through the new affidavit that has to do with DNA. So the DNA evidence found on the knife sheath and the genealogy that was done to connect it, from Bryan to his father. Well, the defense put out an affidavit kind of casting doubts on whether it's credible. They want to know how the DNA was handled from start to finish, the moment it was in the police possession to when they had their decision, when they made their conclusion with whatever testing they did. Because I'm no expert on DNA over here. But this was written by Dr. Leah Larkin, who's a DNA expert in California. All of her credentials are listed on there. So if you want to read through the document with us and look at her credentials, it is crazy. Like, seems like she really knows what she's doing.
She's like the expert of experts, you guys, where we were on stream and I got to that point and I was blown away. It's like multiple pages of, journal submissions as a leader on the topic and in that science, and being part of startup companies that have to do with this. And
literally made like testing tools, like ways of testing DNA.
Partners in writing the handbook for what the FBI use with this science, which is insane. It's so incredible.
Yeah, so she's arguing. So basically, if you don't know, the way they took this DNA and connected it to Coburger's father was through places like Ancestry.com, 23andMe, like those databases, the same one that was used for the Golden State Killer. And she's basically claiming that it's not flawless. Like, there can be false positives, like false matches. There can be gaps where, and they don't always realize it. And also says that she's also seen it used improperly by police.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the important things to...
Like in the past.
Yeah, one of the important things to point out here, too, you guys, is one thing that I think was done really good in that document is an unbiased approach. So she does not come to the table saying, hey, Bryan's not guilty. She comes to the table saying, hey, I looked at the situation and what's going on, and I have an opinion as an expert, and I want to enlighten you. Like, that's what I get from that testimony that she gives based on that topic. And, like, as an outsider looking in, let's be real here. We're talking about putting a man to death, and he's not going to be allowed to see how that decision was made to arrest him. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think the state wants to give over the information they are asking for.
Well, they know it was unreliable. I think that's the reason from the start. They said, hey, Judge, we want you to know that we found DNA, but we don't want you to say that we showed you we found DNA. We don't want you to allow the DNA in the court case or the trial. We want to pretend like this DNA was never there. We just want to use it to have you give us the authorization to search through his whole life.
Right.
So, like, that to me shows that the prosecution knows this is unreliable.
Yeah. Yeah, because from the beginning, they didn't want it used in court as actual evidence.
Right.
They just wanted to use it as probable cause, but then it's being touted as, like, a smoking gun of sorts. Like, his DNA is on scene. Well, is it actually? We actually don't know for sure because it's touch DNA, and you made the match through genealogy, which both of those things are not totally reliable.
Yeah, and the way that it's done, too. So I was trying to search up the name here. It's called GED Match. So essentially what she's saying is that, like, all these companies, Family Tree DNA, Ancestry DNA, 23andMe, MyHeritage, there's a box that you have to select that says, yes, you can use my DNA for court cases and share it with the police or whatever to help in these situations. And she mentioned in here that a lot of times people will not want their DNA shared for those circumstances, but law enforcement still uses it.
Yeah, and another crazy thing that we learned from the
wild.
document is that in these websites, when you're putting your DNA in and you're trying to get matches to relatives, a lot of times it's not even based on your DNA.
No.
It'll be based off of them literally sleuthing on the internet, looking at social media profiles, obituaries, news articles to connect you to other people.
Yes.
So a lot of this isn't even DNA, how these matches are being made, which I don't know if that's 100% relevant to this case, but it could be. It very well could be. But this, hold on, there's a statement from Dr. Greg, oh my gosh, Hamikian? Oh my gosh, I feel so bad.
Dude,
I'm so bad with names.
You just commit.
Yeah, commit.
Anybody that has an issue with us mistaking pronunciations, like, look, you're watching the wrong people then in that situation, because the type of ADHD I have, like, I am going to forget and mess up names. There's nothing I can do about it. It's a part of my brain that literally can't change, and I think it wears off. Like, we're both really bad at that. It's not disrespect. You just commit and go with it.
Well, and also a name can look like one thing and be something totally different.
Yeah.
But it's Hamakayan is what I think it is.
I mean,
Dr.
I'll put
Greg
the name up on the
Hamakayan.
screen. So
she's a forensic biologist at Boise State University. She said this is a more aggressive challenge where they're saying, wait a minute, is this fruit a poisoned apple or something, and how did you get this genealogical match? Do we know it's a good match? Maybe you got tunnel vision early on in the case through bad genealogy. So she's basically saying, like, they got this little match, he was in the right place at the right time, and they're like, this makes sense.
Yeah.
And went after him.
Yeah, it's wild,
without
you guys.
looking much more into it. Because the fact that there's no DNA in his car and all of that, like, there's so many other things pointing the opposite direction of him that I feel like it could go either way. I'm not overly invested in either theory of innocence or guilt. I think it could go either way.
I think that's one area that we do pretty good with, is staying unbiased in those situations. But here's the thing that I want to see. In any case, you guys, what I'm looking for is I'm putting myself in the place of a juror, okay? And I'm thinking, would I, myself, be able to, in this situation, commit to putting someone to death based on the evidence that I see? So everything that I look at, those are the lenses I'm looking at, not because I think he's innocent, not because I think he's guilty, but because that's how our laws and our justice system work. Yeah. Do we feel comfortable enough to, in a death case, a death penalty case, put this person to death with this evidence? So I just hope we keep getting more evidence to understand why it went on him in the first place, and maybe this gag order really there's a whole bunch more evidence. I don't know, but right now I just currently don't see it. And that's one of the things we're going to be talking about tonight, is one of the major key factors in him being arrested in the first place. We've talked on cell phones, we've talked on the DNA, now we're going to talk on the car. So
yep, looking forward to that. It's going to be a good one. But yeah, let us know what you think about the DNA, about the defense coming, like, basically calling them out. Like, this isn't what you're saying it is.
Yeah. Let us know what you guys think. That's a good update, though.